you're in the process of buying a home, you may have heard the term seller's concession. In this video, I'll be going over what seller's concession is, why I recommend using it, the max amount of seller's concession you can get for a specific type of loans, and when it can get tricky. Stay tuned, you're going to want to hear this. Welcome to my channel. My name is Stephen Hunt. I'm a licensed real estate salesperson with eXp in the capital region of New York. I am also a licensed loan originator with Freedom One Funding. On my channel, I'll be providing you with tips and everything you need to know about real estate, as well as tips on finance. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on a video. Now let's get into what seller's concession is. Seller's concession is when the sellers agree to pay for your closing costs. If you really think about it, the sellers aren't actually paying the money for the seller's concession. You, the buyer, are actually paying that in your loan. So seller's concession is the amount the seller agrees with to pay your closing costs. The sellers have to agree to even allow the seller's concession. And later on in this video, I'll talk about how it can get a little tricky. So stay tuned. For example, let's say you're buying a house at $100,000 net to seller, and you want $6,000 to go towards your closing cost. So you're buying the property for $106,000. $100,000 goes to the seller, and that $6,000 will go towards your closing costs. So the loan amount will be $106,000. Why I recommend using seller's concession? Well, I personally believe in leveraging your money. I have that business mindset to just leverage. However, if you feel comfortable and you have a ton of money, then don't even use the seller's concession. However, if you want to save some money, just in case there'll be any damages or anything that needs replacement, then save it. If you're a first-time home buyer or if you don't have a lot of money on, I recommend using the seller's concession. If you have enough money to put down 20% to avoid PMI, as well as have leftover money, then I recommend doing that. Sometimes there are banks out there, well, when they have specials, they do less amount down to avoid PMI. You'll have to look out for those. By the way, I will go over PMI in another video, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're notified when I make that video. Of course, if there is a multiple offer situation, then I recommend not using seller's concession just to make your offer more valuable. At the end of the day, it is what you're comfortable with. We're just here to give you advice. Now I'll be going over the max seller's concession you can get. I'll be going over a few loans. There's FHA. You could get a max of 6% seller's concession. There is a conventional loan where you can get a max of 3% seller's concession. There's a VA loan where you can get a max of 4% seller's concession. And there is an investment loan where you can get a max of 2% seller's concession. For USDA loan, they also have 6% seller's concession. When can seller's concession get tricky? I'm going to give you an example so you can understand this a little better. Like we said earlier, if you made an offer at $106,000 and $100,000 is what the sellers are going to net, there's $6,000 of seller's concession there. Now, when it comes to appraisals, let's say the property actually appraised for $95,000. You have the purchase price at $106,000 when the appraisal is at $95,000. The bank will not lend you $106,000 if the property is appraised for $95,000. They will only lend you what the property is appraised for. So they'll lend you the $95,000. Now you and the seller are going to have to come to an agreement. Will the seller go down all the way to $95,000? Will the seller meet you halfway? Or will the seller not want to reduce at all? Usually we come to an agreement. In a very hot market where there's a ton of multiple offer situations, I would not recommend using seller's concession in one of those situations, because sellers don't want to run into this obstacle of it appraising less than what the purchase price is. Because if they go down all the way down to $95,000 as in the example, then, and let's say the property was $100,000, you went full price, they're losing that $5,000 In the hot market with the multiple offer situations, I even got asked from the realtor ahead of time if my buyer will be willing to pay the difference if the property appraises less. So sellers will have more options when it comes to a hot market. They'll get multiple offer situations. However, if you need sales concession, then you have to use it. You can't go around that. And that's it for sales concession. If you thought this video was helpful, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on the video.